Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.
Okay, this is done on a Sony RM1X Mark II. So it's a full frame,
Yeah.
35mm, a classic
Sure.
kind of point and shoot,
Yeah.
but on a full frame kind of sensor. It's like a Sony A7 only shrunk down into
Right.
something smaller.
Oh, okay.
The lights, I think the dynamic range is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't do much post-processing. I just clicked black and white.
Right.
And then it was done like that.
Okay.
It's shot in Taiwan.
Okay.
Taichung Opera House, I think
Okay.
it was. I think the scene is beautiful. The architecture is amazing.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted to capture the different shades of brightness on the...
So let me describe.
Please.
Okay, so here's when I see it. It's a photo that it's very difficult to understand what you're looking at as an outsider. So as a person's looking at it, there's a kind of organic shaped wall where the curves, there's like a skylight, and it looks curved inside plaster kind of thing. And then on the wall, there seems to be, I don't know if it's natural light bleeding in from the outside or if these are LEDs. And there's kind of like mechanical, so it's hard to know what the scale is. Like, I don't even know how big this is.
Good.
How small
I'm very
it is.
glad that you say that.
It is super. It's like this weird abstract. It looks almost like at the bottom of the image, there are like it could be drinks, like glasses with drinks in them. One with like a little bucket with ice in it, and 3 kind of glasses with carbonated drinks. But the scale is so weird that maybe those things are humongous. Like, it's really, it's an absurd image because it's a thing that is hard to understand what it is. And so you told me that it's the opera house in
Taichung.
In Taichung,
Yeah.
which is it's still practically alien.
And it was the first time I went in there. So we have first 2 photos very family. So we took a family trip to see my uncle in Taichung. So he left Hong Kong when he was quite young. He was like 17 or something.
And Taichung is in Singapore.
No, in Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah, Taichung.
I'm just joking.
Okay.
Taichung, Taiwan. Yes, of course. In the south.
Middle. Chung meaning middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had a bit of a interesting story because he was involved in the 1950s riots in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
So there were 2 famous riots in Hong Kong in the 50s and the 60s. In the late 50s, it was the nationalists, the KMT, the Kuomintang.
Right.
They had a very strong presence in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong. Oh, really? Okay.
And it was anti-colonial, I suppose. It was a little bit, I suppose. And also it was against police brutality.
Right.
The police was quite corrupt at the time.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not corrupt anymore.
No. Heaven forbid.
It's amazing now.
Yeah.
Perfect. Finest, Asia's finest. So in the late 50s, and the KMT were sponsoring young people to train them to become teachers in Taiwan.
Okay.
So my uncle, that's my dad's eldest brother,
Right.
Took up the opportunity and moved over to Taichung and never left.
Oh,
so
wow.
Just stay there
Okay.
for 60. Bloody hell, it's like 60 years, maybe
Wow.
70 years. Married someone local, just set up a family.
Sure.
My granddad left China after the Second World War.
Okay.
When he realized the CCP was going to take control of China. So he left China, came to Hong Kong, and he was an intellectual,
Yeah.
but found it very difficult to get a job here
Oh, I found it difficult to get a job here.
in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay.
He obviously was very worried about being intellectual,
Yeah.
with communist ruling.
Yeah.
And he came over with many children
Yeah.
at the time. He actually left one in China.
Oh.
I know,
okay.
very odd. But, I don't know.
Who knows?
Circumstances, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this story is that alien to a lot of Hong Kong families.
Right.
It's very
it's
normal.
not unusual. Yeah.
Not
yeah,
unusual.
Yeah.
So after they got here, his eldest son decided to move away to Taiwan, and then so there was no one like so. At that time in the 50s, 60s, a lot of the children would start earning money to feed the family.
Yeah.
Right. So they lost a breadwinner.
Okay.
So it made it very tough for my dad because being the eldest after that. So eldest son went to Taiwan. Second son left in China.
Right.
Third son is my dad.
Right.
So he kind of took up the looking after the family. So he started earning when he was like 12.
Right.
Okay. So you know he's since become a headmaster. Move on. You know, made something for himself.
Sure.
Right. So Taichung is always a little bit. There's a bit of tension there with my eldest uncle.
Okay.
Because my dad,
Yeah.
obviously within the family, the eldest is the most important. You know,
so there's
a lot
some
of respect.
resentments and I understand.
Well, maybe not as much as resentment, but there's a bit of tension there.
Okay.
So he never visited them until I made my dad to go.
Okay.
I made him go because I said, look, you both are old. You both are going to die. Go see him.
Sure.
Right. So I planned a poker trip for myself.
Okay.
And then with time, we went over to Taipei, and then where I play a lot of poker, and then we drove down to Taichung to see my uncle.
I think what isn't showing, or people can't tell in the podcast, is that my head right now is exploding. I mean,
I can't see that.
No,
either.
I know, but my head is totally exploding. You're just like, I went to Taipei, I play poker, and that's amazing to me. That's like trying to wrap my head around it. Okay, yes. So you go to Taichung.
Yeah. So we drove down to Taichung, and then we were looking for places to see, and then I was like looking at the Lonely Planet or whatever.
Sure,
right? And the Opera House is quite famous, so we went over there, and then Dad was a bit like, oh, what's this? Kind of didn't.
Right.
And then I was talking to him and say, look at the lights.
Yeah.
It's like a cathedral without a god.
Right. Right.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So just help me out here. How big is this? If I was standing next to it,
Giant.
What is the scale?
Huge.
Like, how big is a person?
Okay, so the reason why these are so small is because of the perspective. That is really, really, really far away. So
Are you inside a building?
I'm inside a building.
Okay. So you're inside a building. Okay. The language. Okay. So that's what's so weird. It's like we're inside a building. Yeah, and the perspective is kind of strange, and it's far away, and it's a podcast with photos.
Yep.
People have to.
If you see on YouTube, you might see it.
You have to go check it out because it tells me a couple of things. It tells me that you think a lot about stuff. You think a lot about all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. You think about your composition.
Who doesn't think about all kinds of stuff?
Some more than others.
Okay.
Mr. Cheeky.
You must think about stuff, right?
Sure. But what I see here is there's a real the fact that you use words like absurd, and the fact that we look at an image here that makes no sense. There's something there.
This photo has got something quite technical about it because usually you have to use a tilt shift lens to make it.
Yeah.
I did it without.
Right.
So that's what made it kind of a proud moment for me.
For sure.
Right. I created an image without tilt shifting.
Yeah.
With a normal camera.
Yeah.
And created something like that.
Yeah.
Which is
so
something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I find it interesting.
Well, so for a person who is new to photography or doesn't understand this, or this is outside of their understanding, tilt shift is a way of changing the kind of the orientation of lenses so that when it's projected onto the sensor, onto the film or whatever, the perspective is still held and isn't kind of confused or lost or
you can confuse it and lose it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a fantastic image.
I like the light. I like the fact that there was something interesting about it for me.
Yeah,
like technically,
of course.
And and it was shot on a nice little camera.
Yeah, great. You want to move on to the next photo?
Sure.
Fantastic. So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.